Hey guys, I tried making this video earlier today, but I was pretty much falling asleep when I did so. So I figured, I'd give it a go. Now, I look like I've been bawling my eyes out. I'm really just sick. So I figured, I'd make the video, get it done, and try and give as much information as I can in a short amount of time. So basically, the whole reason why I'm making this video is because of a YouTuber called Vexed. He made this video stating that Venus Angelic was pretty much evil and all that. So I found a lot of contradictions with what he's posted and the information that I know. So I thought I'd give this perspective. So, first of all, Margaret has, according to Vexed, he interviewed Margaret and she's given him all this information. So Margaret's actually told us a different story on the pool forums and the farm groups and stuff. So basically what happened with Margaret is she told us that Venus ran away while she was at school. I'll insert a screen cap here, and yeah, so if you pause the video you can read through it. Margaret basically said that she's told Vex a completely different story to what she's told us. So yeah, that's the first contradiction I noticed. Now, first of all, also, before I go any deeper, I want to point out that throughout a lot of interviews and stuff, because I've followed Venus since maybe it was 2008, I don't know. I followed Venus for a very long time because I genuinely like her videos, and now I feel like a crazy stalker fangirl, but whatever. So Venus has basically had a lot of controversy around her. And one of those controversy pieces includes the TV show My Strange Addictions, where she has actually mentioned that her mother is her manager. But in other interviews, her mother has acknowledged that the channel is hers. So I'll try and post links down below, and I may include clips. The way I see it is Venus was underage when she started. I believe she was 13 or something like that. So legally, for monetization, you can't actually get monetized until you're 18. I know because I'm in the system myself, sort of. I'm not under partnership, but I do have my videos monetized, mainly because I just was curious to see all of the values and all that kind of jazz, and I didn't really know what it was until later. But Venus basically, in order to make money, she would need her mum's name on the account. So I do believe her mum's name was on the account, but then that goes into questions about child labour, tax evasion, which there's a lot of information about, and all of this other jazz. So I believe that her mum was managing her and maybe on the account so they could earn money, and it's sort of her mum's wanting to get revenge now that she's lost her income as a shock, if that makes sense. So in regards to the emails and stuff like that, I know quite early on to this drama, her mum was posting things on Venus's behalf on her Instagram and admitting that it was herself, from what I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it could have been a case, I don't know too much information, but that's just how I've seen it, so take that with a grain of salt. Her mum has been posting on her behalf, and quite early on, Venus lost all of her accounts, including her emails, excluding her YouTube and her Instagram, because she managed to change those to, I believe it was Minarchy's emails. Now, another thing I wanted to point out is Margaret has been country hopping like crazy, because she's been to Seoul, she's been to Canada, she's been to Hungary, she's been to London, all in the span of the last few weeks. She's back in Japan. How is she poor if she can afford to travel? I don't know if it's different pricing there, because I live in Australia, so everything's super expensive here. I think to Japan it costs us like $2,000 or something ridiculous, but it might be slightly cheaper, but still I wouldn't be crying poor over that. Yeah. Now, another thing with that is Margaret claimed that Venus stole her, I can't pronounce it, Shrevosky. It's actually a jewelry company. It's quite well known. I can't pronounce it properly. So apparently Venus stole that, but then there was, from what I've heard, so this part is hearsay, so take that with a grain of salt too, but from what I've heard, Margaret was actually selling it on the Venus Angelic site, and apparently it was the same jewelry, but that is just a rumour that I've heard. I don't have any clarification for that. So yeah, if I find it, I will post it down below, or I'll make a new video. And with the court cases, the same thing goes. Like, how is she able to bounce between countries but not pay for court? It doesn't make sense to me. There's also the case of her body image. So, like, there's been a lot of claims and allegations of bulimia, eating disorders, and all that jazz, surgery. Now, with the bypass surgery, or with the stomach, like, surgery, like, the bypass surgery is only a temporary thing, so they take a part of your intestine, and it's sort of like they move things, and you can fix it later, but it's only, like, you can still gain weight because your body can go into starvation mode, from what I understand. So it's sort of like you don't get enough nutrients, so it starts absorbing things more and all that jazz. And with the other surgery, it's sort of like, Venus would not be able to eat things like that giant donut and stuff. Like, it's not a case of bulimia, it's a case of her stomach would not have enough room to do it, because it would be shortening the space. Because what they do is they clamp up the top part of the stomach. I believe it's the top part, it might be another part, but they clamp up a bit. So imagine a balloon and you've taken like a bit and it's clamped up. So it makes less space in the stomach, so she can't eat as much. Yeah, so I don't believe that's actually possible to do. Like, I don't believe that's happened because of that kind of thing. We've actually the groups have gone into a bit of study about it, and there's been like body pictures and all that kind of stuff. In regards to Margaret going to Venus's and Monarchy's house, Margaret shouldn't really have gone there, because first of all, they met her at the airport and they had to contact security because Margaret wouldn't let them go. There's actually evidence of Margaret talking about this too, but of course she twisted it to her side and all that. And then there's evidence of Margaret tried to say Monarchy hit her and all that, but the video that was there was shaky, so no one really knows exactly what happened. So yeah, I don't think personally that Margaret was really allowed, like, I don't think she should have gone to their house, because even if they organised to see her and then things didn't work out, it's not really fair to do that. If things didn't work out, it's just common sense to not go to their house. So the next point is that I do, like, from watching interviews and stuff, I do feel like Margaret's one of those parents who, they love their kid, but they're living through their kid, if that makes sense. It's sort of like they have to live vicariously through their child because they didn't quite get the childhood that they wanted. And so Margaret was living through Venus. But you can see in early interviews and stuff like that she did actually care about Venus genuinely. And I can understand how scary it can be to let her daughter go, but her daughter is 19 years old and she's married. You've got to let her live her life. So yeah. And that goes into my next point with monarchy. I feel like it's not really fair on people to comment about their relationship, but but there's one point that I really didn't like that Margaret did, and it's that photo. So I don't think... Okay, so first of all, the photo, there's a lot of speculation because, for one thing, you can't see Venus's face. And, like, people have said that the figure looks more like Margaret's than it looks like Venus's. Which, I can see that too. Even, I showed my mother before and she saw it too. She actually said it to me. I didn't point it out. I was like, what looks weird about this picture? Because I thought she would be like, oh, you can't see her face. But she was like, that's not Venus. And she's not even a follower, so... And I was just like, well, that's a bit weird. And then I was like to my mum, oh, like, if one of us cheated, would you go and take a photo of it? Like, really? Like, is that the first thing you think of doing? And she was like, no, like, I would be appalled. I might tell your partner about it, but I would never go and just take a photo. That's weird. So yeah. But yeah, that's my main points. I figured, like, I wanted to wait till I wasn't sick to do this, but I figured, like, there's a lot of people saying all of these negative things about Venus, and, like, all these news channels are just following Vex's points without doing actual research themselves, whereas a lot of us have done this research, and I sort of said that I'd be the one who can say something. But yeah, this probably won't be my last video about it, because this is not the whole thing. This is just it's a crazy situation. It's massive. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go because I feel really sick. So yeah, bye.